Alright, in this video I'm going to do taxi, takeoff, climb, and cruise. Just for first things, we undo our control lock. Down here is the nose wheel steer gear, and then we'll take off our parking brakes. And make sure our pitch is set full forward. So we have some bite on it. Other than that, that's pretty much what we need to do for pushback. So we'll go ahead and get pushback here. From here, just give it a little bit of throttle, about 20 inches, 15 to 20 inches, and she'll start moving forward. Once you get it forward, a little bit of forward motion, you can go ahead and kick in the nose wheel steer down here. And that'll allow you to turn the plane whichever direction you want it to go. And that's pretty much how you taxi and turn it on the ground. So we'll go ahead and get over there to the takeoff part. Okay, for those of you that are still thinking I'm not running this as realistic as I can, these are my realism settings. They are maxed out. Now, next thing, I'm trying to say that I'm taking it off light. Those are my settings. 143,000 pounds is almost grossed out. Next thing, alright, we're going to do a parking brake on, check that prop pitch is full forward. We're going to set our flaps to 25 degrees right here.
Flaps 30 degrees. Flaps 25 degrees.
Next thing, we're going to come up here, turn on ADI. Make sure both your tanks are full and that you are set on auto. Pretty much what you got to do up here, go back to the flight engineer station. Now from here, let me get rid of that. Alright, from here we're going to take our cowl flaps and we're going to close them. So we're going to lift that up to 3 inches. Alright, intercooler flaps look good, decent temperature. I could probably open them up a bit more, but I'm not going to. Right now, air is unsheltered. All buses look good. Booster pumps are all on. Engines are, or the fuel's open where it needs to be. Got good fuel pressure. Tach's good. Good manifold pressure equal across the board. And good PSI, good fuel flow. Good oil pressure. And we're good to go. So from here, we'll go back up to the main cockpit. And again, double check pitches forward. Got your flaps are down. ADI is on. And we'll do a quick run up. So with the brakes on, we'll be watching these two gauges right here, which are your prop pitch and your manifold pressure and your torque pressure. We're looking for any inconsistencies in the engines. And engines look good. Bring them down slowly and evenly. So from this point we're ready to take off. And we're going to go down here, take off the parking brake. Control lock is checked off. Pitch is forward, flaps are down, ADI is on, got good engine temperatures, again good oil pressures. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and shut the windows. I'm just going to do it quickly. Now, apply brakes, And running power up. As heavy as we are, we need to provide a little bit of pull before we release brakes. Pulling it up to 40 inches. Now I'm letting the 45 and letting the brakes go. And max power.
We're rolling.
And time to rotate, ease back on the stick. We're airborne, gear up. 1 notch flaps.
20 degrees.
Still pulling full power. Down 15 degrees flaps. Keeping a little bit of nose up trim. Gear is checked up. From here we're going to pull some of the pitch off the prop. Bring it down to about 25-50. You can leave your engines where they are. And we'll go ahead and make a left turn. Another notch flaps out. Another notch out.
That's 5 degrees.
Let that settle. A little bit of trim. And it flaps out.
Flaps up.
And we're trimming out. And we're going to go ahead and begin our climb. Keep about 130, 140 in your climb. Big thing to watch right now is your engine cylinder head temperatures. If you're starting to run too hot, you're going to blow these things up. Again, that's what this ADI switch is for. Helps to cool the engine down when you're running at full power. This is pretty much a standard climb. You can run it anywhere from 50 to about 46 inches at 25-50, and you should be doing fine. For an auto climb, you can go down here to your autopilot panel, engage your clutch switch, watch your vertical speed. You can select it here, just forward of your turn, your autopilot turning handle. You've got your you can adjust the pitch on the nose, so you can raise or lower your climb rate from right here. Once you're at your altitude that you want to be at, this is your altitude hold switch. So I'll go ahead and fast forward to cruise. One little note I forgot. If you'll notice, the windows are starting to fog up. It gets kind of annoying, you can't see anything. Down here, turn on your window defroster. That will clear your windows up. Just a little note. Oh, while we're still in this climb here, I figured I'd throw that out there. I need to come back here to my flight engineer, and I'm coming through 7,800 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to ram air and help the engines cool themselves down. They're getting a little bit warm. They're running at the upper end of what they should be. Cowl flaps are still open where they should. Got good pressure on the turbos. Number 4 is doing a little bit of deviation, but that's cool. Got good RPMs, good manifold pressures, good torque settings, good fuel pressure, and oil's good, and we've got good pressures going across the board. Gotta keep on these. Alright, now that we're up here through 10,000, I'm going to go ahead and lean out my engines. So I'm going to grab a hold of my bar here for each individual engine and drag it back to where it clicks into place on auto lean. Alright, right now we're coming through 18,000 feet. I put up the cheater bar so you guys can see. We're coming through our transition altitude right now. Basically what that is an altitude set off of your altimeter where you're no longer using your thousands of feet. So once you cross over 18,000 feet, you're transitioning to flight level 180. Their altitude's gonna be based off of your altimeter setting instead of your actual physical altitude. Another thing I'm doing while I'm climbing here is you'll notice my airspeed is starting to slowly go down from 140. So what I've been doing is I've been using my pitch reference down here to knock a degree of climb off my AOA. That way I started out with 900 feet a minute climb until I got around 10,000. I had to drop off 2 degrees. Got up about 15,000, dropped off to about 600 or 700 feet a minute. Now I'm down to about 5 to 600 feet a minute. And if you look from external, you can see we're starting to come into the stratosphere. Our exhaust is freezing behind us. Also, we've got some wingtip 40s, which basically means we're in not a stall, but we're getting close to it. Another way of indicating basically you need to take some of the, either put some power in it, or you need to pull some of the climb off of it. What I'm going to do for this particular situation is I'm going to come back here. We're not pushing as much on the turbo as we should be. So I'm going to take control from the co-pilot of the turbos. And I'm going to put a little bit of turbo pressure in, bring it up to about 75%. This is going to make my engines run a bit hotter, but it's also going to boost my manifold pressure. That way it allows me to get the power I need to climb with. And as we start going higher, you're going to rely more and more on your turbo to get you up here. Now that we're getting up here in altitude, I'm going to go ahead and start switching on my de-icers, my prop heat, and the pitot heat. So my tubes getting ready to come here and level off at our cruising altitude of 25,000. Just waiting to click the button here. And just about up there. And engage it. Altitude hold is now on. We're going to let it get a little bit of forward momentum, start seeing that speed pick up here a little bit. Then we're going to pull our prop pitch back to 2100 RPMs up here. And we've got a little bit of forward bite. But we don't need to make the engines work near as hard once we're up here at altitude. And the AOA is coming off the aircraft. Adding a little bit to it. And pull the pitch back. 60% is right at, in this plane, or in these A2As, 60% is your optimum at 2100. So from here, we're going to run back into the flight engineer station again. We're going to watch our cooling, because pulling the engines back to about 40 inches for cruise. And that's going to cause the engines to start cooling down quite a bit. So, as you can see already, our cylinder heads are starting to drop in temperature. This is where the attitude in the engines and the personality of them start to show, which they modeled real nicely. Each engine is going to run independently of itself, so you're going to have to watch its individual personality per se, and deal with it as it needs to. Other than that, you just sit back and enjoy the flight. That's what sitting up here at a cruise altitude. Everything's done that we can do except monitoring the gauges. And the next video will be sitting on descent and landing.